that down, guys. Let's move on to this, shall we? Well, it's been a weekend at the box office that a lot of people have been looking forward to see what the results would be. Of course, we've got Wicked opened up this weekend and Gladiator opened up this weekend. Now, Wicked, they projected to be making somewhere between $65 and $80 million opening weekend. We all thought it would probably exceed that. Gladiator, I think, was tagged somewhere around the $50 to $60 million mark, and it got right there. As the reports are now in, Wicked set several new box office records by making $114 million in its opening weekend. That makes it the third largest opening of 2024 so far, only behind Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine. So it's the third biggest opening of the year. It is the biggest opening of any Broadway to movie adaptation ever. And it set several other marks as well that are put in throughout there. Now, as far as Gladiator made $55.5 million on its opening weekend, which is strong considering, what did we say the budget for that movie was?
103.
$103 million for that Gladiator, which, by the way, when I found out that number, I was a little bit surprised. You know, sometimes you see a movie that had a huge budget and you're like, I don't see the money on screen.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if that movie really was, if Gladiator 2, I didn't love Gladiator 2, but I liked it. If that movie only cost $103 million to make, well done. They did a good job getting excellent bang for their buck. It's not the best visual effects I've ever seen, but the movie felt grand in scope. It didn't feel limited by a budget. They did a pretty good job on that for $103 million. So it's going to end up being profitable. Now, that ended the debate. We talked about this last Friday. What's going to be bigger, Wicked or, Gladiator? Clearly, Wicked was much better. But one of the things that we knew too was that Gladiator might play better overseas than Wicked will, right? Wicked is more of a Western kind of thing, UK, the States, all that kind of stuff because of the stage play. Well, there are some people who are missing some important facts here that are looking at it kind of weird. Like, for instance, if we look at Wicked, 114 million opening weekend. Now, worldwide, it's at 164 million. If you look at Gladiator 2, it made 55 million opening weekend, but it has $221 million opening weekend. 164 for Wicked, 221 for Gladiator. So there's already been some people going, oh my God, Gladiator is doing better than Wicked. Okay, slow your roll. There's two important things you need to understand. Number one, Gladiator opened in many places around the world like a week or two ago. So that 221 million, or the 165 internationally that it's made, that doesn't just represent this weekend. That represents one, and in some cases, 2 weeks of playing in international markets. So don't get too excited about that 165 overseas numbers, because those are numbers that weren't just from the weekend. That's like 1 and in some cases 2 weeks in advance. The second thing you need to keep in mind when we look at this number. So again, the international number here on Gladiator was 165, international 50 million for Wicked, is that is only from this weekend, but also Gladiator is literally playing in twice as many countries as Wicked is right now. Mm-hmm. For example, one of the biggest international markets for Gladiator 2 was France, where it made $10 million. Wicked hasn't even opened in France yet. One of the other big markets for Gladiator was the UK. Wicked hasn't opened in the UK, at least not wide in the UK. It played a couple of screens, but that's it. Hasn't played wide there. So yes, Gladiator's doing well. Listen, again, I want to remind everybody, look at this number again. $221 million this movie's made so far on a $103 million budget. It hasn't broken even yet, but it will. This movie is going to be profitable. And and today that's all you can ask for. Wicked, I don't know how big the movie will ultimately end up being. It's really going to depend. Like once it rolls out to all the international markets and then we see how it does. Obviously, domestically, it's already doing great. How well it'll do overseas, don't know. We'll have to see. But again, it's always good seeing a movie that is great And Wicked is great. It was better than I expected it to be good. I didn't expect it to be this good. It's going to get nominated for Best Picture. I feel pretty confident saying it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. It's going to get nominated for a whole bunch of Oscars, as a matter of fact. But it's always nice to see when a great movie gets rewarded and does well at the box office. And again, third biggest box office opening of the year so far. Will it still have that once Moana 2 opens next week? I don't know. We'll find out. But still, not bad at all for Wicked. So pretty impressed with it. Big numbers for them. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Perfect Jean. So the colder season is here, and guess what? I am living in the perfect jean. These jeans are super stretchy, soft, and totally trick people into thinking I've got my life together. And I'm telling you this because I actually love them. These are absolutely, no questions asked, my favorite jeans that I have ever owned. And yes, the folks over at The Perfect Jean are paying me to say that, but it's still absolutely true. These are my favorite jeans ever. These jeans have enough stretch to accommodate Thanksgiving dinner and are comfy enough to wear all day watching Sunday football. Plus, even though they feel like sweatpants, they look good enough to be your go-to pants for date night. And listen, the Perfect Jean isn't even just pants. They've revolutionized t-shirts as well. The Perfect Tee has just enough stretch to hide that beer belly while accentuating your arms and chest for that flawless look. My guys, it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use the code CAMPEA at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with the promo code Campea. And after you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the John Campea Show and tell them we sent you. F your khakis and get the perfect jean. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Wicked absolutely dominated. Came out third biggest opening of the year, biggest Broadway transition opening ever in history as well, and several other records. Did you expect it to beat Gladiator by that much? Listen, guys, don't start pretending like for the last year and a half, I haven't had all of you guys telling me how nobody was going to go see Wicked. I felt like we had to deal with that almost on a weekly basis. But anyway, what's the biggest surprise you hear? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.